Oh, durka durka durka.
Okay, enough. Welcome to another shitty review of a knife you never heard of. The Trivisa Antliae. Antliae? Trivisa Antliae. Okay. Basic specs. 45 bucks ish. You can find this at White Mountain Knives or Amazon. 14C28N. Pretty small and relatively light. Good ratio there. Fine. Here we are. 46 bucks ish. And in stock. However, not in stock over here. But they have a bunch more. I didn't realize this. I thought this was like a one-off Amazon knife, or just they had a few models, but they have quite a few more. So, based on this, I might try another one. Let me give you the tour of this knife. I'll keep that over here. What the hell? All right, so knife feels good, feels well made. This is a button lock. I'm not a huge button lock fan. I'm used to having a little bit of a slower detent, a stronger detent, a slow drop. So I made it like a little tighter. Short wire clip here. The blade is a clip point. Really like this jimping. They extended it out, and this indentation here feels great. You could chuck up if you wanted here. And blue micarta. That single screw sticks up a little bit for everybody who's freaked out about their gym shorts or whatever. So anyway, fine. So I actually, this is and the other thing I didn't check, pretty sure you can get these all over AliExpress. I don't know. It took a long time for this to show up for me, so it was almost like buying it through AliExpress because it took forever. So, but now it's here. It can cut paper, as far as I know. Here, let's see here. Yep, it can cut paper. But it is not scary sharp or whatever. Fine, it's like middle of the road. I would sharpen this just because it's a little snowy there, dusty, so not as clean as it can be. But whatever, who cares? Okay. So anyway, I want to make this quick because I don't know, whatever. But things I like about the knife, the blade shape. For a button lock, feels pretty good. Easy to do this flicking stuff if you like to do that. Deployment, flipper's good. Front flipper's good too. I have, for example, a number of Kaisers and petrified fish that this is a better flip than that, easier. And deep carry, I like that. So a bunch of good things about this knife. It's just executed well. It's a small EDC knife, and I think they did a good job. Now then, there are criticisms I have of this, which is more about me. It's more durka than in general. But here's why this is not like a slam dunk knife for me personally. All right, take it with a grain of salt. I have medium-sized hands. This feels a little small. This deep carry clip, which I like, and I like the wire clip. That's sticking up right here into my hand. I think this would be pretty darn uncomfortable to use for an extended period of time. Not that I'm ever doing that, but if you bushcraft boys are doing that, I guess you got to worry about that. Another durka is the micarta is kind of smooth, and I've just stopped buying micarta knives for the most part because I just think the G10, like the average, maybe it's one of those things where the distribution is different, where like I know what I'm gonna get with G10, the standard deviation is low, and it's a, you know, and your average, your mean is a 6 or something, and your micarta, you can, it's got a wider variation, maybe a higher mean, but a wider variation. So I don't know where I just went with all that. So we'll just take that as an opportunity to reflect on how fucking dumb this, why I'm in my garage doing this now. Can fuller flick it too. I forgot to mention that. That's actually like a very underrated flick, if you ask me. The Migaron Valona is very nicely flickable like that. But beefs, the micarta, the size, I just wish it were a little bit bigger. I also think the bigger size would, this blade shape, I don't know what it is, but it just looks to me like it needs to be about 15% bigger. That everything would work better. Everything, just the dimensions on this feel like this should just be bigger. So it's pretty much all I have to say about this knife. I like it. And for a person who wants a smaller knife or has smaller hands, I think it could be great. And if you like micarta, this knife is available in a number of other configurations, though. Let me just see if I can pull that up or not. Well, just to know that the micarta is average, you know, and to me, average G10 is probably better. Lastly, I think I'll compare this to the old Vosti Raccoon. Very big on the budget blade subreddit these days due to an innovative marketing campaign involving sending people knives in promise for a review. Whatever. Vosti Rack. I think there's about 2 C's in that. This thing's about 60 bucks. And so let's just compare these two for the hell of it. They're not super similar, right? This guy's crossbar lock. You can get it in a button lock. The handle sizes are pretty darn similar here. Let me get that so it doesn't look pretty darn similar. And both just a little over 4 inches. And a different shaped blade, slightly bigger on the Vosti, and the Vosti is really light, by the way. This certainly doesn't feel light to me. And at this 3-ounce thing, to be honest with you, like, I don't necessarily notice or even like it. So this is like a 3 or maybe even just a little under 3-ounce knife, the Vosti Raccoon. And this is 3.5. But at this size and everything, I don't even like this being so light because it makes it feel like the blade is heavy. It's blade heavy, and you end up getting flexing like this. I mean, if you care about that, but just the whole thing doesn't feel so solid, right? You got this, you can squeeze this down. The knife feels heavier here. So, you know, I'm not a big fan. I originally thought I was gonna like this knife, but it's a knife that like seems better on paper. It's not completely deep carry. I don't love this knife. So anyway, if you're a random person on the internet and you're trying to say, hey, you know, I got 60 bucks to blow on a knife, and I wanted to be 14C28N, and I wanted EDC, and blah 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 blah, and I want micarta, and if you filter it down to the 19 people in the universe who meet those specifications, then I would pick the old Trivisa Antliae instead. In this particular comparison, do I think you could do better for 45 bucks? I do. And I almost think that I spent less than 45 bucks on this. But guess what? My order history is on my phone, and I'm filming this fucking thing with my phone. So I'm not going to be able to look at that. 45 bucks, I'll tell you this, just generally, $60 for this Voss-Seed raccoon. Too much money, especially with all the Megaron knives I have that are better. This guy for 45, fine. I can dig that. But is it going to unseat some of the other more well-known, except for we're still talking about random Chinese knives here, brands? Here's the CJRBPRNA5 Pyrite Alt and button lock, and real skinny little guy, but similar otherwise. And so, do I think the Trivisa is obviously better? No, I don't. I think it is good. It is going in the good but not great category for me. That's all she wrote, pretty much. In conclusion, bye.